The world's oceans account for somewhere in the region of 70% of the Earth's surface. With such a vast expanse of water, it is no surprise that most of it is virtually unexplored. For that reason, it is often referred to as the final frontier of exploration on Earth. Hidden beneath the depths of the world's great oceans are some very strange and exotic sea creatures, many of which appear to defy all logic. Did you know that frogfishes take their name from the fact that they really do bear similarities to frogs? They have unique pectoral fins which have an LBOW-like bend at the front, and then just behind these they have smaller pelvic fins which resemble legs. This is common across all frogfish species. Frogfishes vary in size according to species and range from just 5 cm up to a huge 50 cm for giant frogfish. When frogfishes have prey in front of them, they are incredibly fast to open their mouths and they suck in their prey whole, without chewing. Just as fishermen use different baits, different species of frogfish have different lures which imitate different prey, from small squids, fish and worms through to crabs and shrimp. Did you know that female frogfish will produce between 40,000 and 180,000 eggs at one time? The leafy sea dragon is a marine fish which includes sea dragons, pipefish, and seahorses. It is found along the southern and western coasts of Australia. Research has discovered that sea dragons actually travel several hundred meters from their habitual locations, returning to the same spot using a strong sense of direction. They are mostly found over sand patches in waters up to 50 and 160 feet deep, around kelp-covered rocks and clumps of seagrass. The leafy sea dragon uses the fins along the side of its head to allow it to steer and turn. However, its outer skin is fairly rigid, limiting mobility. Individual leafy sea dragons have been observed remaining in one location for extended periods of time up to 68 hours, but will sometimes move for lengthy periods. Seahorses are tiny fishes that are named for the shape of their head, which looks like the head of a tiny horse. You will find seahorses in the world's tropical and temperate coastal waters, swimming upright among seaweed and other plants. Seahorses use their dorsal fins, back fins, to propel slowly forward. To move up and down, seahorses adjust the volume of air in their swim bladders, which is an air pocket inside them. A giant isopod is distantly related to shrimp and crabs. They are abundant in the cold, deep waters of the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Oceans. These 14-legged Goliaths can live 500 meters or more below the ocean surface, where pressures are high and temperatures are very low. These are noted for their resemblance to the much smaller common woodlouse pillbug. These arthropods are much larger than your usual pillbug. They can reach more than 30 centimeters from head to tail. These isopods are mostly carnivorous and feed on dead whales, fish, and squid. They may also prey on slow-moving animals also. Stargazers are a family of saltwater fish that develop eyes on the tops of their heads in order to gaze at the stars or to spy on prey swimming above, blissfully unaware of the predator camouflaged in the sand below. To the top-mounted eyes, a stargazer also has a large, upward-facing mouth in a large head. Their usual habit is to bury themselves in sand, and leap upwards to ambush prey that pass overhead. Some species have a worm-shaped lure growing out of the floors of their mouths, which they can wiggle to attract prey's attention. Stargazers are venomous. They have 2 large venomous lines situated behind their opercles and above the pectoral fins. Stargazers are a delicacy in some cultures. The venom is not poisonous when eaten, and they can be found for sale in some fish markets. A special but very small fish family is the family of the ghost pipefish, and this with only 6 officially recognized different species. They are regularly found in the eastern Indo-Pacific region, but also in the Red Sea, Egypt. Specimens are found. They generally live in shallow waters, between 5 and 30 meters, and they are extremely seasonal and are mostly found only a few months of the year. The life of the ghost pipefish actually starts as a larva adrift in the currents of the oceans. Shortly after birth, the young ghost pipefish starts looking for a host, and once found it will change both color and shape. Ghost pipefish reach a maximum length of 15 centimeters and they hang almost always upside down. Most of them are not even bigger than your little finger or forefinger.